Okay, today I'll be talking on trigonometries. Angles between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. If you should look at this, so as to determine the signs of cosine, tangent, and sine in the first, the second, and the third quadrant. This is the first, this is the second, and this is the third quadrant. This is the fourth. In the first quadrant, all are positive. Cosine, tangent, and sine are all positive, and we call this odd. In the second quadrant, only sine is positive, and I will say sine. And in the third quadrant, only tangent is positive, and I will say tan. And in the fourth quadrant, only cosine, which is just cos. So you should put in mind that at the first quadrant, sine, cosine, and tangent are all positive. And at the second quadrant, sine is positive, tan and cosine are negative. And the third quadrant, tangent is positive, sine and cosine are negative. And at the fourth quadrant, cosine is positive, sine and tangent are negative. So at the first quadrant, I should say first quadrant, which should be like this. This is our y-axis, and this is our x-axis. At the first quadrant, where theta, where 0 is less than theta, where 0 is less than theta, and theta is less than 90 degrees, which is this, the angle here, which is greater than 0 degrees but less than 90 degrees. At this part, sine theta is positive sine theta, cos theta is positive cos theta, tan theta is positive tan theta. Second quadrant. At the second quadrant, you should know that 90 degrees is less than theta, and theta is less than 180 degrees, just as this. This is theta, and this is the angle suspended at the horizontal. So at this point, you say that at the second quadrant only sine is positive, so you say sine theta is equals to positive sine 180 degrees minus theta. Sine theta, which is this sine of this angle, maybe this angle is 120, so the sine of this angle, which is 180, the whole of this straight line, minus theta, which is this angle, as 180 minus theta, That is 180 minus 120, which is 60. That simply means that sine 120 is equals to positive sine 60. Sine 60. Cosine, you see cos theta equals negative cos 180 minus theta. That simply means that what this angle gives to you when you say cos theta, the angle here gives you the negative of it. That is 180 minus theta. Cos theta equals negative cos 180 minus theta. For tan, you see that tan theta equals negative tan 180 degrees minus theta as well. So therefore, tan of this is equal to the negative tan of this. While for the third quadrant, we have that this is y, this is x. This is the first, second, and this is the third quadrant. Now the angle goes like this. Remember, you are only looking for this angle. If you should notice, I looked for the angle here that is touching the horizontal, not this one that is touching the vertical. Not this one touching the vertical, this one touching the horizontal. So this one touching the horizontal as well is what we will look for at the third quadrant. And at the third quadrant, only tan theta is positive. So sine theta equals negative sine. So what's the angle here? The angle here is just 180. This is 180. And this is an angle that is not up to 270. So the angle there, which is 180 greater than less than theta and theta less than 270 degrees. So the angle there will just be theta minus 180 degrees. This is theta, the whole of this is theta, and the whole of this straight line is 180. So this would be theta minus 180. So you have this. This is theta. The whole of this theta. So for cosine, we have negative cos theta minus 180 degrees. And for tangent, we have positive tan theta minus 180 degrees. Now for the fourth quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. So when theta is greater than 270 but less than 360, which is 270 is less than theta and theta is less than 360. This is theta. The whole of this is theta for the fourth quadrant. So you see that to find this one that is touching the horizontal, you won't look for this one. It is this one that is touching the horizontal you will look for. So at the fourth quadrant, we know that cos theta is the only one positive, right? So sine would be negative sine 360, yes, minus theta to have this. So sine of the whole of this, which is theta, is equal to the negative of this. sine of the negative of this. Yes. So for cos theta, we have positive cos 360 minus theta. And for tan theta, we have negative tan 360 minus theta. So this is how you know that sin theta is negative or positive. Now for here you say that all of them are positive. Sorry. For here you say that all of them are positive. When you have tan 45, you should know that it's positive. Cos 45 is positive. Sin 45 is positive. But at the second quadrant, only sine is positive. At the third quadrant, only tangent is positive. And at the fourth quadrant, only cosine is positive. So if you should have some questions from all this we have been doing, like question time. Okay, from all we have been doing, if we were asked to find the value, find the value of sine, cosine, and tangent from the above, from this, 120 degrees. I should say this is A, B, 210 degrees, and C, 60 degrees. What about D? I should say this is at the second quadrant, this is at the third quadrant. Okay, this is at the first quadrant, and D, 290 degrees. This is at the fourth quadrant. Yes. So from this now, you know that for A solution, for A, sine 120 degrees is equal to, for first quadrant, this we have done, from we have done from first quadrant, sorry, this is quadrant 120 is one quadrant, which is t greater than 90 degrees less than theta and less than 180 degrees. So you know that 120 is 90, 120 is less than 30. So that is at the second quadrant. So you should know that sine theta should be equals to positive sine 180, positive sine 180 minus. So if you have 120, it should be equals to sine 180 minus 120 degrees, and this is equals to sine 60 degrees. If you should punch that in your calculator, you should have 0.8 and something like that, which is just the square root of 3/2. And for cos 120, we have cos 180 minus 120. Negative cos 180 minus 120, which would be negative cos 60 degrees, and this is negative 0.5. I should have write 1 over 2. Same thing. Negative 0.5. This is to prove that at the second quadrant, cos theta, which is now 120 at this calculation, is negative. Yes. And also for tan theta. Tan 120 would be negative tan 180 minus 120, which would give you negative tan 60 degrees, and this would give you square root of 3. Yes, negative square root of 3. So at the second quadrant, sin theta is positive, cos theta is negative, and tan theta is negative. While for B, which is 210 degrees, we have that this should be, for B, sine 120 degrees equals sine, remember, this is sine 210 degrees. Sorry for that. 210 degrees is at the third quadrant, which is theta greater than 180 but less than 270. So we say 180 less than theta and theta less than 270. Only tan theta is positive. So sine 210 would give you negative sine theta minus 180 degrees. Yes, at the third quadrant, you know that it is theta minus 180 degrees. That gives you the angle that subtends to the horizontal, right? Yes, I think so. So from here you see theta is what? So negative theta is 210. So negative sine, you know this is 210 already. 210 minus 180, that should give you 30 degrees. So this is 30 degrees, and this is negative 1 over 2. Yes, at the third quadrant, sine 210 is equals to minus 1 over 2. And for cos theta, which is cos 210 degrees, it would be negative cos 210 minus 180 degrees, and this would give you negative cos 30 degrees, and this would give you negative square root of 3 over 2 at the third quadrant. And for tan 210, this will give you positive tan 210 degrees minus 180 degrees, which would be positive tan 30 degrees, which is 1 over root 3. While for C, which is at the first quadrant, we say sine 60 is positive sine 60 degrees. Yes, we don't minus it. So sine 60 degrees positive sine 60 degrees plus, yeah, sine theta positive sine theta. Cos theta is positive cos theta. Tan theta is positive tan theta. So here we say this is just 60 degrees, which is square root of over 2, and cos 60 degrees is positive cos 60 degrees, which is 1, 2, 10, 60 degrees, positive tan 60 degrees, which is just square root of. While for the fourth one, which is D, sine 290 degrees would give you what? Would give you 360 minus 290 degrees. You know, at the fourth quadrant, we say from here, we say sine theta is negative sine 360 minus theta. So that we should have this. So this angle, the sine of this angle, the negative sine of this angle is equals to sine theta. The negative sine of this angle is equals to sine theta. And at the fourth quadrant, only cos theta is positive. So we say negative sine 360 minus 290 degrees, which is equals to negative sine 70 degrees, 70 degrees. Or should I make this 300 so it will be easier? I don't want to press calculator. So if this is 300, this is 300, so we say 300. I'm doing this not because of laziness, but just to save time. So if this is 300, you see 360 minus 300, which is negative sine 60 degrees, which should give us negative root 3 over 2, right? Yes, this is negative root 3 over 2. So should have in mind that sine 300 equals negative root 3 over 2. And for cos 300 degrees equals positive. You should know that at the fourth quadrant, only cosine is positive. 360 minus 300, which is positive cos 60 degrees, which is positive 1 over 2. So at the fourth quadrant, cos 300 rather, is equals to half. So for tan 300 degrees, we have negative tan 360 minus 300, which should give you negative tan 60 degrees, which is negative root 3. So at the fourth quadrant, tan 300 is negative root 3. Um, I've done some few works on trigonometry, the basics, especially for angle between 0 degrees to and 360 degrees. So I will do more. I'll talk more on trigonometry maybe sometime from now. But I pray this helps some people that are finding it quite difficult to understand. I pray this will make you understand easier. So this is how you know your positive and your negative angles in trigonometry. Thank you for watching.